That was a great question. You know, Lisa Simpson was INFJ. It's just what it is. I would say it's going to work the same as predictive programming. I mean, how did the ancestors screw people? Simple. They test their heart, weigh it against a feather. So you're talking about energetic basis. And that's what they're talking about. Everything that they wanted for someone else is now going to happen to them over an 8-year cycle. So your guess is as good as mine. How do the ancestors screw them? How many times have you second-guessed yourself, your intuition? You thought, maybe I shouldn't. And then you do it anyway. Fucking the worst possible event you could ever think of happens. And then sometimes you go, you know what? I really don't feel comfortable doing this, but it just feels right. Maybe I'll go ahead and go with that. And then wham, it's the most amazing thing. Stepping out of your comfort zone. So my thing is holding down the fort because it's a vibrational thing, right? When you remove the vibration of fear, doubt, amazing magical things happen. But when you have someone that's vibrating in the frequency of duh, then only duh shit happens. Simple enough. I would say if we're getting all kinds of weird shit. If we're getting knocks on the wall, chances are that spiritual protection can knock on their brain. I would assume. I don't know. Hell, they can knock on my wall. Dolores Cannon's book, 5 Lives Remembered. It spoke of a strong soul, a king's daughter. And when she met her demise, they struck her down and she became more powerful than they could possibly imagine. So that's what it is. Your guess is as good as mine. I would say that it's going to be equal give and take. Equal give and take. What they wanted for you is what's going to happen to them. They wanted you homeless. They're going to be homeless. I can't do anything about that. Right? They just don't know it yet. All they have to do is reflect on what they wanted for another, because now that's what's going to happen to them. Simple enough. I can't do anything about that. And it happens in a myriad of mystical, magical ways. They wanted you broke. They're going to be broke. They wanted you unalived. Accidents happen. I mean, I can't do anything about that. Pisces, you're going to have to witness their karma. Okay, great. Then that means we're going to see them go through what they wanted for you. Simple enough. You want everyone to win. They wanted to be competitive. Okay, cool. You can see their views going down. Right? You're talking about a group of karmic narcissists that only cared about image, money, power, a supply. Right? People okay, cool. As that all starts to dwindle down, then you really might know what it's like. That's what it is. They're going to find out what it's like to have the blues, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was over an 8-year cycle that they can't believe Pisces survived. I'm an Earth Angel. I flew through that shit. So that's what it is. I can't do anything about that. Right? And I mean, when you're talking about them wanting to destiny swap with a healer, there's NDEs involved in my shit. So they've got at least 3 of those rites of passage to go through to learn how to heal. So, I mean, how the ancestors screw them, I don't know. A lot of people over drinking. That's what it is. One of my NDEs involved a muscle relaxer and Corona. Imagine that. Somebody handed me a Corona, and I thought that was a good idea. That's what it is. Woke up in the hospital. It was like the little boy from The Sixth Sense. Waking up as Bruce Willis. You remember Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense? Yeah, reality flipped. And I mean, you've got that energy in the cards. That's what it is. Every time I go to a spiritual event, my life flips upside down and your whole reality changes. So it's what it is. You're talking about destiny swapping from past life soulmates, right? What happened to them in the past is the same shit. It's the same karmic shit they're doing this incarnation. Right? So they got a taste. They got a taste of what it was like and still made the same mistakes. They're not for the highest good of all. Right? I mean, being for the highest good of all sometimes can end up with your head on a stick as a great fence post. Switch. You were for the highest good of all. They don't understand that. Great. So now we're the healer in this situation. Right? And they're still heads on a fence post. I can't do anything about that. You know, how does that show up in this incarnation? Looking over your fence and shit? Is what it is. They're still the forest of the impaled. They're still keeping people out. That's what it is. Who knows? Who knows? It's not my concern. My concern was to pay my karmic debt and then move forward and let the universe handle it. How the universe handles that, it doesn't matter to me. That's not my concern. My concern is that, you know, those of you with spiritual gifts, don't abuse them. Right? What was my contribution to that? I'm the last one they're going to bully. That's what it is. It's very, very hard for them to do a betrayal Carrie style, because that's what was in the cards. So I went with it. Right? Getting Carrie up on stage and then dumping pig shit on her. Whatever. Cool. I put them on stage. And I took Carrie's job. They're taking our jobs. I did. I took Carrie's job. And just went ahead and threw the crooked cops up on the stage. Just poured them on Carrie. Oh, shit. Oh, no. He did what? Like a temperance angel. I just take their souls. Weigh them on the scales. We'll pour some of you on Carrie, you big bully. We'll pour some of you on Carrie, you big boy. They don't like that. They don't like that. What does that turn? And I mean, we're going for gifts like powder. You ever seen the movie Powder? That's what it is. You know? You meet someone like Michael Jaco and shake his hand. Shit shifts. It's what it is. What was his gift? Sending the enemy love as a Navy SEAL so they couldn't take the shot. Okay, great. I use a higher balance technique and wrap a bubble of light around your fucking ass. What it is? When I wrap a bubble of light around your brain, you have a hard time thinking. It's what you love drunken shit. It's what it is. It's energy, right? As long as it's for the highest good of all, who knows? I mean, you know, my job is to stay out of it and let them be haunted, because they did. They went up against a paranormal INFJ in a group, mind you. In a group. So, you know, God will show you who you can trust. Yes, they're going to go through exactly what they were involved with for 8 years. Right? You got to think the Pope just got exited out of the Matrix. There was energy in the cards when I first started using tarot to mirror the moment, because I was seeing entities. Cool, I activated my astral sight. The INFJ lives in the planes of light, higher vibrational reality. Okay, cool. So when you have fucking time and space invaders, right? And now you've got the energy in the cards that they were casting some kind of chaos magic, mental magic to manipulate her. Okay, great. That shit's all going back on them now. Right? What's the difference? What's the difference between them and me? I had to study what the hell they were doing and figure it out. And now we'll just be able to identify it. And when they're going through it, I'll be able to be like, oh yeah, well, they're going through that. It's okay. I went through that shit. That's what it is. And I just use divination to mirror the moment. I mean, when you talk to light workers like Christine Holliday, I mean, when I hear that story from these ladies, they're using their intuitive abilities, their ancient gifts to be able to see energy. When you can see the energy in someone, their higher self, you can't unsee that shit. How do normies see it? Energy readers. Right? They're reading the energy in the cards. Cool. The energy that they read in the cards, we see with our own two eyes. That's what it is. So, I mean, that was the thing that I knew was any competition, that shit's not for the highest good of all. That frequency won't ride. right? And then I ask them the questions that they can accept, because the question revolves around, is it for the highest good of all? Even if it's a fucking woulda, shoulda, coulda, what if? Even if it's a what if, in the end, that question would have been for the highest good of all, and they don't like that shit. Cool, that's the only frequency that will suffice, right? That was the divine bait. That's what it is. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, when you ask someone a question, and you ask that question so it benefits that one fucking person that they didn't think about. Cool, as long as you're helping one person in the eyes of the universe, you're saving the universe. The universe is inside that one person. That's what it is. They don't care. They don't care about that. They only care about themselves. Cool. You put yourself in that other person's shoes. That's why it always works out. Everything they did was all over money. Great. What did that buy them? Fucking a haunting. They're being haunted. I can't do anything about that. They're seeing shit. They're having weird shit happening. They're losing shit. They're having accidents. They're losing arms and legs. All kinds of weird shit. I have family members talking about driving through the mist and hearing it scream at them. At the same time, you've got tarot talking about how the ancestors were playing with them and giving them every warning to do the right thing before disaster strikes. Because they're affecting the higher self. The higher self, the God consciousness, is always in charge, right? What is its only communication with you as a human? Pain. It's causing them pain, and they don't listen. They don't listen to the pain. They try to fight their way through the pain. Cool, I've been there. Laid in bed, did that shit for years. Found a way to communicate with the higher self and heal. Imagine that shit. Imagine that. It does. It loves you unconditionally. It gives you exactly what you asked for, right? Which puts me in a cold place, because now when I see that they asked for it, they created it. That's what Dolores Cannon taught us. They created that. They did not want the highest good of all, which means the higher self in charge of everything. They counted it out in that one individual. Now, you don't turn your back on people because you don't care about the higher self. They're going through karma. They're having to learn their lessons. Cool, we've all been there. Now that I have stepped into a higher frequency, a higher light, what's that going to do? Piss people off. What are they going to do? Everything they can not to respect their higher self. Imagine that shit. The one thing that's in charge, that's destroying their reality with energies they can't see. It's the unseen realm. As we break these ancestral curses, generational curses, whatever, cool, that breaks the generational curse on the ancestors. That's raising the dead. They're conjuring demons and shit because that's where they came from, right? They're sending that to me because that's where I've been. Right? So now it's going back on them? Yeah, and I can't do anything about that. Nothing. I can't do nothing about that. What's the sad part? Could I? Well, absolutely. I went through it. That's their karma. How did he survive this? My spiritual protection. Wait a minute, can you help me? Absolutely I can. Are you going to? No, because that's your karma. You have to learn just like everybody else. But that might take lifetimes. Exactly, you wanted to destiny swap with that shit, so now you got lifetimes to learn. I can't do anything about that. It's for your own soul's growth. It's what it is. Plain and simple. What they wanted for another is what is happening to them. Great. What do we have to get over? New level, new devils. Large groups of people are now in the same boat that they are in, learning the truth of what a couple fucking jealous, envious, the 7 deadly sins. All you got to do is identify them. Which one of these 7 deadly curses did this individual just get me in? In the whole group, Thank you for that. In the whole group, how did was it greed? Now, am I going to have to suffer the greed spirit, the greed ancestor? Because when you put greed out into the universe, especially into the light, it reflects that back to you tenfold in completion. So now you're looking at somebody who embodies the energy of greed. Scrooge McDuck. Here you got greedy in front of you. That's what it is. And what has happened to that? And consider it a demon. It's an energy. Greed, it's an energy. Cool. So now what do they have? Complete greed. So now when you look at them, you go, okay, that's just greed talking. That's just jealousy. That's just envy. That's just whatever talking. That's what it is. When you embody all of it, cool. Then you have the 7 virtues as well. You see where they're at, but you know where you're supposed to be. That's what it is. You know your role. Simple enough. People don't see that. They only see that one. They have a one-track mind. Cool. Their one-track mind has now been healed. So every decision they make will be based on half and half. They'll either be able to take the light side or they're going to step into the darkness. That's fine. I see in the dark, which is fine. I'm not worried about it at all. Not worried about it at all. Does it take time? Yes, everything happens in divine right time. Are they going to have to go through it? Yes, for 8 years. I just finished an 8-year cycle. Are they going to be mad at me? I don't care. They don't exist unless I perceive them. If I don't perceive them, they don't exist. Simple enough, right? The only reason those aspects of you exist on YouTube is because you watch them. If you don't watch them, they don't exist. Right? I mean, and now that people are waking up from the sleep, you've been under a mass hypnosis. Mass hypnosis kept you tied to one of those 7 falls of man. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with blah, 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 blah. It's energy. Energy is energy. And once you're able to spot the energy, you will know how it affects you. Cool. Right? And that's just it. They signed up for it. And we'll be proud of that shit. Oh, yes, look at me. I'm Mr. Greed. So it's fucking Mr. Deeds. You underestimate the sneakiness of my sneakiness. That's what it is. But I mean, you know, when I listen to some of these readers like the one in Chicago, the higher self spoon-fed Dolores Cannon for 23 years. Okay, cool. I look at following that path like the 3 kings digging 20 years. That's what it is. Are people going to be able to get into alignment? Well, yeah, they have been stuck in a program. The karmics think that they are the solution when they're absolutely the bug. They're the virus in the program. You gotta look at it like a computer. They are the virus within the program, right? Their job on the other side, energy is energy. Maybe your best friend. However, in this reality, I mean, you got to think, for every this, there is a that. I do past life regressions with the Dolores Cannon, with the Dolores Cannon cult. Okay, that's a past life regression cult. What is the opposite of that? A death cult. I get reviews for the people that I take through the death experience. The other side of that does not. They don't get reviews for their clients they take through the death experience. Fucking for every this, there is a that. For every light, there is a dark. Right? What happens when you expose me? You expose them. Everybody's now exposed. Guess what? I can walk through public and advertise with a big smile on my face and 2 middle fingers in the air. Come by Upshotscott and experience death and 5-star reviews. Not going to do that because it's a little creepy. However, so is people paying for children on an island. That's as creepy as it gets. Why do they not want that truth coming out? Because those are the high-powered individuals, obviously, that lined you up, put masks on you, and told you, here, take this shot. Oh, no, really? Yeah. People do dumb shit for money. It's energy. Cool. So focus on the energy. Quit looking at the person and look at the energy that they embody. Why do they not like energy readers? Because we read the energy that they embody. We see things that others can't. We see the soul, right? And when someone embodies a dark soul, that shit shows. It's like fucking Wednesday Addams and Elvira, Mistress of the Night. Are they able to influence these people? Yes. How do they do it? Money! The root of all darkness. I can do it too if I wanted to. Do I? No. Why? Because what's done in the dark comes to light. Having voodoo and magic and witchcraft and shit in my life. Shit's been in my entire life has been involved with that shit. Right? As long as I can remember, they have talked about West Virginia witches and da-da-da-da-da. Well, wouldn't you know, the INFJ, the paranormal INFJ that sees that shit, was able to defeat the substances that keep you lullabied and unaware of it. Man, you're walking around in a fucking sleepy state. Does food do it? Yes. Can you combat that? Absolutely. I bless the food. I clear that shit with Reiki. I love it. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. If I bless gasoline, I'm pretty sure I can drink that shit. If you can have these fools running around smoking Red Devil carpet cleaner, chances are no weapons formed against you shall prosper. Is that the smart thing to do? No. What's in the cards right now? Not even death can stop your destiny. Okay, cool. That means answer the call. That means it's time to answer the call. What does Pisces call? Exposing all the shit I just told you. I'm their karma. The karmics got a karma earth angel. They manifested it. They needed an angel to come save them. Cool. I had to wake up to this shit just like they did. That's what it is. That's basically the whole thing to growth and expansion is when you learn something new. Fucking when they go, oh my God, I didn't know that. Yes, they woke up to it just like I did. I just learned that too. Imagine that. Right? What is the problem? We are going into the golden age and you have been in darkness the entire time. Where does the competition come in? You have people using illusion and that bullshit for cash and prizes and views. They don't give a shit about you. They care about the view. They're just, me, I'm talking to you. That's why you see in my comments, man, I can't believe you just said what I was thinking. Right. That's because I give a shit what you think. These people don't give a shit what you think. Right? And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't give a shit what they think because they come right here and yank that shit off the channel and go and they had a year off of my other channel. Now you got Chicago talking about fallen angels following Pisces lead and da 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 da. And they think Pisces is funny and da 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 da. Yeah, they think it's funny until they realize what happened. I'm their karma. I can't do anything about that. Namaste.